The Galactic Council chamber was a masterpiece of engineering, a floating citadel above the capital world of Zelkaroth. Representatives from 100 species debated policies, alliances, and power plays. Their voices a blend of harmonics, pheromones, and bioluminescent pulses. Then the alert sounded. A council enforcer, a four-armed Zeldar, stepped forward, mandibles clicking in agitation. Unidentified vessel detected at the edge of our territory. Energy readings erratic, no known signatures. The chamber silenced. It had been millennia since any species had dared an unsanctioned arrival. The galactic hierarchy was stable, its power absolute. This anomaly was either an error or a challenge. Holographic displays flickered to life, revealing a ship unlike any before seen. A massive cylinder of reinforced metal, covered in protrusions that had the unmistakable appearance of weapons. It was primitive in design, yet exuded something alien to the galaxy. Purpose-built destruction. "It's enormous," muttered a Skrull ambassador, its scaled skin rippling with unease. "A warship of this size is impractical." The analysis came swiftly. No energy shields, no organic technology, no plasma-based weaponry. The vessel should have been dismissed as irrelevant, except for one detail. "The mass is absurd," said a Verd technician, voice dry with disbelief. "The sheer density. This thing isn't a ship. It's a fortress." The Council's supreme speaker, a being of liquid circuitry known as Velzar, pulsed in irritation. "Who sent it?" The response came moments later. "It's human." Silence. Humanity, the upstart race that had only recently crawled from their gravity well. Their technology was decades, if not centuries, behind galactic standards. Their species had barely been acknowledged as a footnote in the Council's records. "Impossible," scoffed a high-ranking diplomat from the Soldari Dominion. "Humans have no interstellar military." "They do now," the technician replied. The warship continued its slow advance. No transmissions, no signals of peace, just the unspoken message of its presence. The Council quickly assembled a response. A fleet was mobilized, enough firepower to glass a world, not as an act of war, but a reminder where humanity stood. "Send a diplomatic envoy," ordered Velzar, though his circuits pulsed in erratic patterns, "and position the fleet at the system's edge." The humans didn't respond immediately. When they finally did, their message was unsettlingly direct. "This is Captain Elias Carter of the United Terran Navy. We are here to negotiate. Stand down." No embellishments. No pleasantries. The Council had never encountered such an introduction. A new power had arrived in the galaxy. The Council's diplomatic envoy approached the warship with a calculated mix of caution and arrogance. Their ships, sleek and shimmering with advanced shielding, moved in tight formation, weapons primed but hidden behind formalities. Standard protocol dictated that any new species be approached with an air of superiority, established dominance before negotiations began. They hailed the vessel. No response. A second attempt. Silence. The UNS Behemoth did not acknowledge their presence, nor did it alter course. It simply continued its slow, deliberate approach. The envoy's commander, an elder of the Zelnavi Syndicate, sneered at the primitive construction of a human ship. "If they will not respond, we will force the issue." A direct link transmission was forced into the ship system, overriding standard protocols. A dozen languages were embedded, ensuring communication. The message was clear. "Identify yourselves and state your purpose, or you will be met with force." Finally, a response. The human voice came through, distorted by interference, but undeniably firm. "We heard you the first time. Stand by for transmission." A brief pause, then a data packet was sent. The Council's translators processed it instantly. Standard human language, formal diplomatic phrasing. But the message itself was anything but conventional. "We are here to establish terms. You are not in a position to dictate." The envoy's commander recoiled. Never had a species, especially one so newly ascended to space, spoken with such disregard for protocol. Even the more aggressive empires tempered their words with deference when addressing the Council. "Unacceptable," the commander hissed. "They will learn their place." A warning shot was fired. an ion burst, non-lethal, meant to disable communications as a display of dominance. It struck the behemoth's hull. The energy dispersed harmlessly, absorbed into thick armor plating. No reaction from the ship. Then, without warning, the behemoth moved. Not away, not defensively. It adjusted its position, a minuscule change, but a deliberate one. Its forward batteries, until now dormant, shifted. The meaning was unmistakable. A single round was fired. It was not an energy weapon. It was not plasma. It was a solid kinetic slug, accelerated to near-relativistic speed. The round punched through the lead council ship as if its shielding didn't exist. A second later, the vessel detonated, shattered into debris. One shot, one kill. The remaining envoy ships scrambled, panic overtaking protocol. Messages flooded the council's network. Humanity had just fired on the council. And then another transmission from the behemoth. This was a demonstration. Negotiate accordingly. The council's response was immediate. The fleet station at the system's edge moved in, thousands of ships forming an impenetrable wall. Every empire represented their might. Plasma lances from the Soldari, gravitic torpedoes from the Vuric, neutron flares from the Kari. Weapons that had conquered worlds now turned toward a single human warship. The behemoth did not retreat. A priority transmission was sent to the Terran vessel. You have fired upon a council ship. Surrender immediately or be annihilated. The response came without hesitation. Engage at your own risk. For a brief moment, there was uncertainty. The council had crushed rebellions, erased civilizations, and bent entire species to its will. And yet, something about humanity's confidence made even the most battle-hardened commanders hesitate. Then the order was given. The first volley came in a brilliant display of energy, hundreds of plasma bursts, each capable of melting through capital ships. Missiles followed, guided by advanced AIs, swarming toward Behemoth in an unavoidable onslaught. The fleet commanders watched with certainty. No ship could withstand such an assault. The Behemoth moved, not with elegance, not with the smooth precision of advanced gravitic drives, but with sheer brute force. Thrusters burned at maximum output, shifting its massive frame with calculated precision. It rolled, presenting its thickest armor to the incoming barrage. Explosions rippled across the hull. Plasma burned, kinetic rounds impacted. Radiation pulses flared against reinforced plating. And yet, the ship held. The fleet's second-in-command hesitated. Impossible. The Behemoth's return fire was devastating. There was no elegance in human weaponry, no precision-guided energy beams or exotic quantum disruptors. Instead, the void filled with solid tungsten slugs, each accelerated to relativistic speeds. There was no shielding in the galaxy designed for such brute force. The first line of the Council fleet ceased to exist. Ships shattered upon impact. Hulls designed to withstand energy warfare crumpled like tin beneath the sheer momentum of human weaponry. The Council fleet scrambled. Their formations, perfected over millennia, failed against an enemy that did not follow their rules. Their technology was more advanced, their ships faster, but against the Behemoth's raw power, none of it mattered. Desperation set in. The fleet's admiral ordered a full retreat. Before they could escape, the Behemoth's final transmission came through. Now you understand. Humanity is not here to submit. We are here to survive. The remnant of the Council fleet limped back to their home systems, their formations shattered, their leaders humiliated. What should have been an effortless display of dominance had turned into an undeniable defeat. Reports flooded the Council chambers, filled with data that no one wanted to believe. The human ship had endured a full-scale assault, obliterated elite warships with primitive kinetic weapons, and forced the most powerful armada in the galaxy into retreat. Panic set in. Debates erupted. Some demanded immediate retaliation, an overwhelming strike to erase humanity before they could grow stronger. Others argued for caution. If one ship could withstand the full might of the Council's fleet, what if Earth had more? What if the Behemoth was only the beginning? Behind closed doors, intelligence reports were analyzed. Humanity's history was dissected, their wars studied in horrifying detail. Unlike the sterile, calculated battles of the Council, Humanity's conflicts had been brutal, relentless, and total. Their wars didn't end with treaties. They ended when one side was utterly destroyed. And they had survived all of them. For the first time in millennia, the Council saw an existential threat not from a rogue empire or a rebellion, but from a species that had clawed its way into space through sheer willpower and refusal to die. A secret transmission was sent to Earth. Not a demand, not a threat, a proposal. Humanity did not respond immediately. The behemoth remained in Council space, a silent reminder that the balance of power had shifted. Then, finally, a single message came through. We are willing to talk. But understand this, there will be no masters, no rulers, only equals. In the following weeks, something unprecedented happened. Lesser species, long subjugated under Council rule, began whispering. If humanity could stand against the Council, what else was possible? Alliances began shifting. Treaties were questioned. Some empires quietly reached out to the Terrans, seeking potential partnerships. The old Galactic order had cracked, and through that fracture, something new was emerging. The behemoth departed, but it left behind a lasting message. Humanity had arrived in the galaxy, and they would never bow,